Welcome to another Sim Saturday. I'll be your host, Pandora. That was probably really lame, but that's okay. I'm just trying some things out. Today I've got a special treat for you. Remember these buildings? I said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Remember how I said, Lucas, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Lucas. Now, a little disclaimer before we get in here. There is very adult content within this story. There is controversy. There is a lot of things that I experimented with that maybe some people don't agree with. I don't want to offend anybody. I just want to warn you ahead of time that there's some controversial stuff. This story includes failed battle with anorexia, troubled past, just a general situation. So anyways, where this takes us, why you're probably wondering, why is this family titled Jailbirds? Why is it this black box of a building? And why is he living with five, sorry, I counted him, 5 other men? Well, Lucas has a very tragic story, and his story is just beginning because I've had his story planned in the works for a long time, and I didn't show you guys. I still haven't showed you Pandora, actually. I'm kind of stalling because I'm afraid of doing this one. I've been afraid of doing this one, but I'm gonna show you Pandora first off. I could show you her in the tree, but you're only gonna see her ghost. I want to show you who Pandora was, who the original. Look at, I have the Sanchez's. Rick and Morty, what up? Okay. So, first of all, this family right here, I'm not gonna click on them because it takes forever to load, but this family right here, this has to do with Lucas's story as well. Okay. I think that's the only one in here that has to do with Lucas's story. But this is the sim I started out with. This is Pandora. Okay? This is what you guys probably recognize as my avatar, kind of, except for the fact that, like, I forgot to, like, her eyes are purple. I believe they're purple, but I never put makeup on her. I always forget to do that with my Sims because I don't wear makeup myself. So, this is her. This is what Pandora is. This is Pandora's image. Whenever I create a character that's Pandora, signature green pigtails, purple eyes, usually purple lipstick. If I ever play Monster Hunter on this channel, because I play it on Xbox, but if you guys want to see me play that game, I will recreate my character for Monster Hunter, and so that you can see what she looks like, because that's like the ideal, like, Pandora character. That game is phenomenal when it comes to character customization. But yeah, it's a great game, and I love that game, and I will for sure play that for you guys. If you guys want me to play it, I will invest another $60 into that game just so that I can have it for the PlayStation. I actually have people who want to play that with me, but, like, alright, again, I'm rambling. So yes, this is her. I have no description for her. Like, this is, you know, basic, because this is who I started out with. This is when I was still learning everything. Back when the universe house was just like a trailer with 2 rooms attached to it. But it wasn't really a trailer. It was just like it was a double wide house. But I had kept expanding on it. And now it kind of looks like some Dr. Seuss shit, but anyways, I thought I would show you that before we go in here, because like I said, there's adult themes. There's adult themes in the whole game, but, like, there's, like, the way I took the story is very, like, some of you might not like this, and some of you might not want to watch this, and that's fine. Just know that, you know, this this series was mine before I started YouTube, and I wasn't gonna put it on YouTube. Because I also plan on doing other Sims videos. I plan on doing like my real life with my husband and my daughter. You know, when Sims Pets finally comes on the console, I'll probably do like a Sims 4 Pets thing with a family, a new family. I'll do something, I don't know, I might even bring Pandora back and have her like start her life with a dog or a cat. I don't know. I don't know yet. I have no clue. Again, like, help me, give me suggestions in the comments. That would be appreciated. I'm gonna stop stalling. Let's get into this. And this, again, it was a crude building of my, yes, let's start with Lucas. This was a crude building of mine. Like, I did it quick because when I had decided that this is where he needed to go, I was like, well, I don't have a prison. I don't have a prison built because I had already built another building for him, which later on he will be going to. But I mean, again, it's all now, like, I feel like you guys are going to be part of this. It's all up to you. What happens with them? I keep saying a lot this time. I don't know why. I hope I wasn't doing that the last couple of times, but I tend to do these things. I say like a lot as well, and I hope I didn't do that either. Alright, did you see the title of that? Okay. Why are they all outside? They shouldn't be outside. Okay. Pause for a second. Back up for a second. Okay. They should be locked in because I locked the door. Maybe, I don't know, that was the first time I did it, was the last time I played with them. Maybe they can get out. Like, it unlocked. Let me check. Let me check. Give me a second here. Unlock door for household. How'd you guys get all out here? Oh no, unlock. Unlock. Just unlock it. So they can all go back inside. Lucas, group these people up and get them back inside. You see that red bar? Oh my god. Okay. Try to chat. They won't talk to each other. Oh my god. Okay, let's form a group. All y'all get in the group. Get in here. What do you think this is? Get in the rec room. Go here. Is this, you're talking to yourself? Yes, you are. Yes, Tanner has the, I touched on this before, you have not met Tanner yet, but he's got the insane trait. Well, so does Lucas, but Lucas is a danger and a menace to society, whereas Tanner is a cute button boy. And I'm not saying that, first of all, what are you doing, boy? Alright, get your butt inside, and then we'll fix you. But he's not wearing his prison outfit. Okay, how about everybody? I didn't say everybody. You guys gotta call me out on this stuff. I'm sorry, that's not your job, but get in here so I can lock this door. I mean, this is a minimum security prison, but it's not that minimum security. Get in here. Nash! Oh my god, with your ass. Get in. Okay. So. Oh, she's sad. Sorry. Oh, I am so sorry. Okay, I've been doing that, and I created him. Oh my god. I'm like apologizing to him, even though he can't hear me and he's a sim, but like, I get it. Like, I mean, I obviously don't get being him. I just get it. Like, that's his pronoun. That's what he wants to be called. And I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing that? If you don't know what I'm talking about or don't remember, in the first episode, was it the first episode? I was telling you guys that I have a transgender sim. Well, I'll show you once I, sorry, I talk with my hands. That's why I'm trying to get better with not talking with my hands. There you go, buddy. Okay. So here you go. We'll talk about Alex first, since now I'm, you know, apologizing up and down to him, but We'll talk about Alex before we talk about Lucas's story, because this is also a sad story. Okay, okay. Look at, you see this guy, this buff guy shaking this guy's hand? Yeah, this is Orion. You know, what happens in prison is, you know, when you're with the same sex, things happen in prison, okay? Here's where the adult content comes in. Things happen in prison. This is not a regular bed, okay? In my thought process, in my head, like, use your imagination, people. They probably, like, took pallets and stuffed, like, a sheet full of napkins and tried to imitate a bed as much as possible. That's what this is. This is that, like, behind the kitchen bed. Like, you know, obviously I don't have actual officers in here. I'm, like, the officer or whatever, or, like, you know, you just don't see them around, but you know, they cook for themselves. It's minimum security. They cook for themselves. They do these things. You know, it's very drama. Orange is the New Black, where it's not realistic to prison, but at the same time it is. Well, here's the thing. Here's the other thing that's like Orange is the New Black. Alex is like Orange is the New Black, where they had a transgender on the show, but it was obviously a woman's prison. This is going the other way around. I wanted to play around. I wanted to implement a transgender character. Here's the other thing about him, though. Him and Orion have this on and off relationship. But what you have not seen, because it happened literally the time I played this house before this episode, was that, because I've only played this a couple times, but when I play for a long time. So what happened was, you'll probably get it if I tell you this. Alex is pre-op. You see what I'm saying? So what happened was, Orion and Alex have a kid that Alex's family is now taking care of while sorry, I almost said she again, while he is behind bars, well, behind, you know, in prison. You know, they do what they want, but it's just one of those things that, like, added drama to the story, and, like, in a major way. And it's like, I don't know, a lot of people would be like, that's not right. Other people would be like, you took a transgender sim and you did that to them. Like, it's like, but that, I feel like that's a real world situation for some people. You know, I feel like, you know, you can't go and it would be a story where, you know, Alex is a young adult and maybe didn't know until later in life that, you know, he wanted to transition. So he probably got caught doing what he was doing before. I'm trying to explain this in a way that's not too touchy, but, like, he probably found out in a way, like not too long ago, like, now I'm saying like a lot. He probably found out, and then, you know, amongst, like, finally getting a hold of testosterone and all that stuff to, like, help the process, like, you know, see, I don't know, like, some of this stuff I feel like I don't have enough information on, so it is harder to play, but I know how, like, a transition goes for the most part. I'm just thinking that what happened was he was almost to the point where he could get the surgery, and then he was put behind bars. And because he technically identifies as a boy, they have to put him in a male correctional facility. So you put a pre-op male transgender sim, I was gonna say person, well, I was gonna say sim first, I was gonna say person, but then I said sim, and you put them in a prison with a bunch of guys, obviously, at least, I mean, usually it'd probably be more than this, but at least one of those guys would be like, there is one man in this prison who actually has what I am looking for. I'm gonna get with that person. Or sim. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. If you do not agree with how I've played this character, you know, just let me know, and then I'll figure something out about it. Maybe I'll release Alex, and she'll, oh my god, I'm terrible at this. He will be able to go out and enjoy the rest of his life, and we don't have to like play with him anymore, or you know. And there will be more transgender Sims. There will be more. I'm very up for like, you know, even like one of the universe family ending up realizing that they're transgender. I almost did that with Lucas, actually. No joke. Like, because he has like so many problems in his life, I started like I had him start going to the vanity at his parents, his adopted parents' house, and he would go to the vanity and he'd put on makeup. It was usually only black makeup, and I was like, could I go transgender with him and not insane? Like, I almost decided not to give him the insane trait and just make it so that he was like transgender. I feel like his life would have been a lot better if that. I mean, not that it's easy being transgender, but I mean like he wouldn't have had all these. If I didn't give him the insane trait, he wouldn't have had all these mental issues. He wouldn't be here in prison, I'm sure. But anyways, so I don't know if that was too touchy of a subject for you guys, and that's only scratching the surface of this story, and that's only a side character in the story, because I mean, when I play, I like drama, and I don't know, like, I know a lot of simmers, they try to stray away from that because people are like, oh, I can't deal with that, that's awful, or like, and I know it's not the transgender part that's awful. If any of you think that, then I mean, I pray for you. But it's the part where like I had one of the prisoners knock him up, and that's like, even my husband, it was weird about Landon and Yusuf too, because I think it's just the fact that he's never seen video game characters like of the same sex be together. But when I told him about it, he was like, oh, okay. Sometimes I'm telling these things, and he's just like, oh, okay, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just creative. But, you know, I absolutely, and there's things that I do with these characters that make it so that I love them even more. And that, you know what? I wasn't sure about Orion, but I loved Alex the moment that I made him. But I wasn't sure about Orion, but now because of this dynamic that they have, I feel like I do. Like him a lot. Like, I need to stop saying like, but I don't know. I keep telling you guys these things, I keep pausing it. Hopefully by the 4th episode, we're moving along a little bit more, because I talk a lot, but I want you guys to know this stuff. I want you to know. And I want you to have the opportunity to be like yay or nay on this channel, because if you don't appreciate that, if you don't, you know, if you can't get with that concept, then I'll know. Like, just let me know. Alright, so now let's turn this off. I like that. No, let's change the song. I don't like that song. Oh, I love this song. Okay, so while he's sitting here dancing, I'm gonna... Oh, sorry, I gotta like Oh, now you're gonna watch TV? Oh my god, okay. Now you're gonna watch TV? Okay, so here is your boy Lucas. I mean, he looks a lot like his mom, and let me tell you now, do you see how beefy he looks in the, like, arms and the chest region and stuff? That's not my Lucas. He never was like that. He started talking to Orion, who is a fitness guru, basically, and he buffed up, like, immediately, and I'm like, oh my god, stop, please stop. But now he, like, you know what? I will show you what he does. I mean, he's kicked ass before, but, like... because teenagers can only fight teenagers, he rile him up first. Oh, no, 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 not you, Orion. Teenagers can only fight teenagers, and Nash and Lucas are the only... Oh, jeez. And Nash and Lucas are the only teenagers in here, which is funny. I had them fighting, and then they started hating each other, but this happens. This flirtiness down here, this flirtiness, I'm pointing at the TV with my actual finger, and that's not working. This flirtiness right here reflects because there's nobody else around to love but each other, and Lucas doesn't reciprocate, but Nash has like tried to offer him a rose before, and Lucas has just pushed it away. He just likes to come over here and kick his ass because he keeps like trying to get with them. That's the thing. Lucas is like, I'm not about that life. See, this is where I'll show you a little bit more like gameplay and story, because it's currently still in development of this. So it's like he's here with Nash, and Nash keeps like trying to flirt with him, and Lucas keeps being like, I'll kick your ass for that, bro. Like, I'm not like that. He's very, you know, he's okay with like Landon and Yusuf. He knows them, obviously, it's his uncles, but he isn't very accepting when it comes to him. So like, it's not just like, what the f, no, dude. It's like, it's just like, I'm where did he go? Oh, is it, oh, when they get knocked the f out. He's dancing like that. Sorry if I'm like pausing too much. It's late, but anyways, yeah, he's not all about that. So he's very much in here, I can get away with it. Well, he doesn't care anyways. He just doesn't care. But he's like, you're gonna proposition me like that, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like, I mean, go do your thing with somebody else, but you come over to me, I'm gonna kick your ass. So anyways, that brings me to Lucas's sad tale. He would be the kind of guy that would clean people's plates. Eat this sandwich. He has, I realize I didn't show you guys their traits before, but he has the top-notch toddler because he was raised in a decent household up until a certain point. He's physically gifted because he, you know, he was just like an agile kid, and it really, I figured he should be because he needs to outrun the cops and stuff. I'm just kidding. But he, you know, I didn't know, I couldn't give him like the nerd brain trait. I feel like I couldn't give him really the social trait because he's pretty much a dick to everybody. And I couldn't give him whichever other, oh, creative. So like right now he's a teenager. He's hot-headed and he's insane. I gave him the shameless thing. He finally got to get that. So like if he because he's nuts, so like if he was to like to wet himself or something, he's not gonna get embarrassed. Or if he's like shows up naked or like sees somebody naked, he's not gonna be embarrassed by it. He just does not give a single Laurel. But anyways, he's also, this is from the Deviant's aspiration, he's dastardly. So he does things that are not very smart. He does things that are not very careful. I'm showing you right now. He does things that are, and sometimes I don't even do it. Like, he's one of the Sims that really puts me on a leash too, which is great. Sometimes I love that. I love to sit back and like watch them. Look at him go. Alright, now get back from that fire though. Alright, hold on. I made him tense. He needs the carefree. Look at him though. Look at him. Is he really tense, or is he just like It's just like, yeah, I
Yeah.
fucking did that. Clean that up, bitch. Clean it up. Oh my god! Orion is so mad. He's like, Lucas, stop doing. This is not the first time I've done this. I forgot I had those fireworks in there, and because I had originally planned for him to just set them off like in buildings and stuff so that it would cause a fire, but then I forgot about it, and so I had to make up a story for him to go to prison. Well, I forgot that where he lived in like a shack in like a foresty area, and he was talking to a vampire and they died in the sunlight, so he kept the tombstone on his lawn. But I made it so it was like he didn't report the death and was collecting, like, figured out where she lived and was collecting her social security checks or whatever, or something stupid like that. Just because I was like, well, I never made up a story for why he came here. He's just like a public nuisance, and I was gonna just throw him into a a jail, but his sentence isn't very long. I was like, but he's in prison, so it's got to be something bigger than that. So that's basically why he's here. I could explain why everybody else is in here, and I probably will a little bit, but I never did a full on, like, what are their stories. Sometimes I get excited and I'm just like, ooh, let's do this. And I'm like, why would you be in prison? But, I mean, I think Orion's pretty mad at you, bro. Don't play it off like you didn't do that on purpose. And this is the thing too, if fire happens, the doors are locked, so if there's an actual fire, an actual like bad fire, I would have to make sure that they were able to get out. The jailbird's house received $12. Oh, we don't need that. If you see here, I did money cheat in the amount of money that they have as like government loans and stuff like that is what they have. They have a little area to paint, which they can wash off. They have a guitar. They have this area where they really can't play basketball. I didn't realize. And then I haven't even shown you the upstairs. Lucas and Nash don't go to school, obviously, because they're in prison. Lucas never went to school anyways. But now, that I've had a little bit of fun, I think I should tell you guys the story. Again, I was stalling because, you know, it's so sad. And it's like, I told you there's a story about somebody dying from anorexia, and it really was my fault, obviously, but it was for story's sake, and it's one of those things where I haven't really dealt with it firsthand. So, you know, I'm one of those people that used to read a lot of those dramatic books. Like Winter Girls is one of my favorite books, which was a book about girls with anorexia. But I also liked all the Ellen Hopkins books, and those had to deal with like kids who were turning into addicts and all other kinds of like adult things. But I don't know if you've never heard of Ellen Hopkins and you're a young adult, look it up. If you would read a book that's written in a form of poetry, look it up, because those books are phenomenal. There are so many of them, my god. But anyways, I'll stop stalling now. Lucas is a trip. Here's his genealogy. Again, like Kiara, we don't see his dad, and honestly, I forgot to write his name down, so it's like the man never even took the time to tell Valerie his name, and you can see her death was by hunger. And I felt so bad after doing it, and I was like, I should not have done that, but I mean, story for story's sake. I know there are simmers out there that do make really dramatic stories, and I know there's people out there who use The Sims to tell their real life stories, because I've watched a couple of them, and it's really sad. And you know, I'm glad that you guys are doing good today. You know, I don't wish anything bad on anybody. The Sims is a game. I have to remember that. I have to have you guys remember that, but you know, I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to be the cause for somebody being like thrown overboard because they, you know, they watched something. So I'm just trying to be as gentle as possible with the subject. I don't know why I'm being so like this is definitely not the first time somebody's done something like this. I mean, people starve their Sims all the time, but I mean, even doing an anorexia story, I guess I feel bad because this originally was just my playthrough and nobody else was going to like care because they weren't gonna see it. But because I don't have experience firsthand with it, I don't want to get this wrong. Do you understand? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be insensitive. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out that word. Okay, so Valerie, right here, if I click on Valerie, this is her sister. Tanner was the son from... Hold on. Oh, okay. I always look at this picture of Norman and I think it's Yusuf. This is their mom. This is October. This was Carter's twin sister. Let me see Pandora. Oh, by the way, the father of October and Carter is Johnny Zest. But Pandora was married... It doesn't show that? Pandora was married to Cassandra Goth, and if you are a Sims fan, you know who Cassandra Goth is. Then you're gonna say, not Bella Goth? Well, I will have to tell you guys that story amongst like another one that I do, another household, because there's just too much to Lucas's story. But maybe that'll keep you intrigued for next time. That was lame. I won't ever do that again. Enough stalling, Pandora, enough. Okay, anyways. So here's Valerie. Here's Eleanor and Brianna. And they are all sisters. Valerie was the middle child. What happened was Valerie ended up being with a guy. It was technically her first boyfriend unless she was dating people when I wasn't playing, but I don't think so because they were non-playable, however you would say it. You know what I'm saying, like they don't play themselves when not playing them. So then she ended up, you know, bringing this guy home, which I can't remember his name, but Lucas has got some of his traits for sure, his skin tone and some of his facial features, but he very much looks like Valerie in the face, actually. He had a daughter, and his daughter was evil. She was a kid. He had a daughter, and he was like already, I think like him and his daughter were pretty close. Like it was one of those things where it was like, because I met the daughter, I had to do it a weird way, and so I got to like see the daughter and see like her traits and stuff. I had to like move them into the house in order for this to happen. Again, very like early on in my gameplay where I could not figure out how to do certain things, and when I wanted something done, I did it the way I could possibly do it. And they ended up woohooing, and her boyfriend got home, saw them, and immediately left. She was really upset. Well, broke up with her because they were actually dating. She was really sad about that. And then, like, it was one of those scenarios where, like, when a sim, because on the console you obviously can't have mods where it's, like, random woohoo or anything like that. But he just, like, woohooed with her, left, never saw her again. She just like went by, and like because you can't do like unexpected actual, like, without a mod, you can't do unexpected, like, pregnancies and stuff. I just didn't have her take a pregnancy test, even though you could tell because they do that, like, nausea thing and the baby symbols. But she didn't know. So she ended up figuring it out. She had Lucas. She, like, named him the most random name. She was like, I don't, just name the kid Lucas, basically. She was just standoffish from the beginning. Like, I don't even know how to write in why she would have kept Lucas and not had an abortion, because, like, I wouldn't have done it anyways if you could, but I know Sims would never do that. but I would never do it either. Like, I'd have her put him up for adoption to begin with, but she was just off the bat did not like this kid, and she took care of him for a while, but she always left the house and always left him with a daycare, and just was never around, and was just pretty much out partying and looking for somebody to take this kid. So then I created Sims. I feel like this is also like the back, like, you're seeing the background stuff, like, you're seeing the backstage stuff too, because, like, not many YouTubers will be like, oh, I made these Sims for this person, and I'm just like, I made these Sims to take Lucas. They would be like, so then he was adopted to a nice family, blah blah blah. No, I made these Sims because there were no good Sims that would take him, and at the time I wanted him to have a good life, so I put him in this house with this perfect couple, and then I was like, they're too perfect. You know what? They're way too perfect. How do I fix that? Because that's not real. That's not real. When you look perfect like that, that's fake. And I had done that, and I did that on accident. A lot of things I do are on accident. So what happened was Lucas, and it doesn't show in his thing because obviously it was like when you do adoption where you can still play a sim, you obviously, you know, can't figure that out. Like it allows you to make a caregiver to, like, a baby or something, but for some reason, like, they should implement that into the tree. Like, because Marcy has a family tree because she was adopted, like, actually in the code she was adopted, whereas Lucas wasn't. But, like, that's all technical stuff anyways. So Valerie gave Lucas up for adoption to Quentin and Amy Hopkins. Now let's pause there, because that's, like, now he's being taken care of as a baby. Well, yeah, I've got to tell you this actually, because no, yeah, pause there. Now if you go, we talk about Valerie started, you know, noticing that her body wasn't coming back to the way it was. She wanted to everybody in this family, whether it be Brianna, whether it be Eleanor, whether it be, you know, Landon, you know, Xander, they all have, like, a little bit of a history of mental illness, because that's how Pandora was. She just carried on those genes. And it's not like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to make it so that it's just all tragic and everything, and then I just said, oh, she has mental illness. Pandora is a reflection of me. And not that, yes, I have been told that I was diagnosed with mental illness, but it has nothing to do with that, because also I think I was falsely diagnosed when I was younger. But it's more of the fact that because Pandora's a reflection of me, she should have my traits. She had the gloomy trait, she was creative, and I can't remember her third one, but she was me. That was me. Like, I've had battles with depression. I have had creative spurts. She's just me, and she carried on her genes, and that's what happened. Like, yeah, some of this happened because it happened, but then some of it was done because they did it themselves. And like Valerie, a lot of it was me, but I noticed that she was miserable. Like she was just miserable. And she was miserable and she started like exercising by herself because I would play Lucas's house to get him to age up and she would run by the house. She had never exercised before and she would always be jogging by the house. And at first I was like, is it because she wants Lucas back? But then I was like, no, she definitely doesn't want her kid. At least the way that I put the story. So what happened was, I feel like we don't need to be on the tree when I do this because then you're just like, what's nothing to look at? You're not going anywhere, buddy. What happened was that she started wanting to lose weight because she wanted to completely forget about Lucas. And at first it was hard to get that to be the thing because she kept trying to go into Amy and Quentin's house because they had some kind of relationship. And then and then when Lucas was a toddler, the only way I could get rid of her was to have Lucas be mean to her. And he was a spitfire as a toddler anyway, so he didn't know who she was and didn't care. So I was like, oh, fine, we'll just do it. And then she finally left, kicked over the garbage can, and proceeded to like talk on the phone all day. That must have been like a bug, but I was like, that's totally Valerie. She just completely snapped one day, and it was just the most tragic thing. She ended up quitting her job by the end. She bought a treadmill. She would forget to eat. But then that's the part where, like, you guys are gonna be like, oh, well, that's just like classic what anybody would think anorexia is. But what I'm telling you is that she never went to like a doctor or anything. She never did anything to take care of herself other than what she thought was taking care of herself, which from what I know of anorexia, that's how people are. They're like, I'm fine, I'm doing well for myself. But she wasn't doing it because she wanted to be skinny. She was doing it because she saw, like, she was crazy in her head. Like, she just thought, if I'm not completely like rail thin, then I'm gonna always remember this kid. But like it was in the denial state where she was just like, I never had a kid, where she was so crazy it pushed her over the edge to like exercise to keep that baby weight off, to make sure that she never looked like she ever could have possibly had a kid. And it just spiraled out of control, and she just stopped eating because she realized that if she kept eating, then she wouldn't be able to keep the weight off. And that's how that happened. What do you guys think? No, but like, anyways, so because of that, before she ended up getting so sick that she passed away, she was, she did photography and stuff. She was a writer, you know. She, oh, we don't need to see that. Bye. She did a lot of like creative things, but Lucas went to go see her one day. As a kid, he had the hot-headed trait because he understood. He knew he was adopted, and in the midst of all this, now we're going back to Lucas's story, but in the midst of all this, he wanted to visit his mom. He wanted to see who his mom actually was, and because he heard some things about it, because he got to meet the family, he went over to meet her after, like, he was looking online at stuff, and he knew that she lived right in the city, and because he had talked to, I think, Xander, I can't remember, it was a while back, but he went to go visit her after he talked to Amy and Quentin, and at this time, Amy and Quentin were divorced. That's his adoptive parents, and that's a whole nother story, but I'll tell you that in a second real quick. He went to go visit his mom, basically, after all this happened, and immediately she was standoffish, and immediately, like, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted, but it was sad, but I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted them to just, you know, fight and not get along, but I didn't even have to do anything. It was uncanny. They just like fought, and she was like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, I had ended up changing her traits so that she didn't like children, but it was like you couldn't write it any better the way that it went. And he had a full hatred bar with her, and that's the only time that he met his mom. The only other time he went to go visit her was when she was dead, when he went to go mourn her. And when I did that, because they were enemies and I didn't know that that happened when you have an enemy, she or he like laughed at her grave, and I was like, oh my god, that's awful. Like, now I feel real bad. He's like, I don't understand this. Boy, get in bed. Get here, right here. But that's basically the story of Valerie. So now you understand who Valerie is. I know I'm explaining a lot of this stuff to you, and you guys are probably like, who is what and what now? Because I've gone so far to play this. Like, oh, I was going to tell you about Amy and Quentin, which you'll probably see a couple times. Quentin is now with a woman named Robin. They have twins, and they live in the apartment next to Anakin. Anakin doesn't really get along with them because they're noisy neighbors, but that's beside the point. Amy has kind of lost her mind because she had to kick out Lucas because he was becoming such a menace. And so, like, she was just dealing with so much, because what happened was, like, they had been fighting. Like, Amy was just one of those, like, women, I should not say that, wow, and I'm a girl, okay. One of those, spouses that, like, cannot get off their spouse's back, and she was always yelling about something or mad about something, and Quentin started leaving more and more, and it was because he was seeing Robin, and Robin was like so good to him, and like he just didn't feel like Quentin didn't feel that way with any other woman, and he started to realize, like, not even Amy, like, he didn't feel that way with Amy. And so he, like, stuck around, and then they went to, I built a motel. I call it the Gemini Motel because it's got the ley line on it, and this was another experiment for the ley line. So he ended up, because the story was that Lucas was adopted by them because Amy could not have kids. What happened was, apparently, that, like, a little bit of 1-2% that Amy could have kids, she ended up having a kid. Well, she was pregnant at the same time that Robin was with the twins. That, you know, because Quentin and Robin ended up going to the motel, and she ended up getting pregnant with twins. But Xander, I think it was Xander, because Robin and Quentin were going on dates, and I think it was Xander that was like, he went to Amy and he didn't mean anything about it. Amy just, like, was, they all knew Xander because Xander knows everybody. But Xander was like, I'm so sorry to hear about you and Quentin. And she's like, what do you mean? We're doing, oh, she went over when she was pregnant with Georgia, is the name of the child. I didn't do it. She was born when I wasn't there. But not that Georgia's a bad name, it just I didn't think it fit her at the time. It does now, though. But she's like, oh, look, we're having a baby, and Xander's like, are you okay, though? And she was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I figured that you and Quentin were done because I keep seeing him out with another girl. And he didn't think about it before he said that, because, you know, Xander's a bro. He usually wouldn't say something like that. He'd be like, okay, well, I was just wondering. But he up in that moment, and she was like, I gotta call my husband. And then they got in this huge fight. They got divorced. She was pregnant with their child while he was in the motel. And then This was supposed to be a quick explanation. If you guys like this, give it a thumbs up. But if you hate me talking, just let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs down. Jeez, how many YouTubers say that? Give me a thumbs down if this is too much. Yeah, and anyways, Robin came to rescue him basically from the motel. They moved into her tiny apartment together. Like, you know, they didn't know. I knew that there was possible chance of twins. They didn't know that they had a better chance of twins. They ended up having twins. They had 2 twin girls, and because their last name, Quentin's last name is Hopkins. So what I did was, because I told you guys about, see, it's a tie-in. When I told you guys about the Ellen Hopkins books, I was like, they should have a name, and they should have names about like from one of the books. And when I thought about it, there's a book about twins. I won't spoil it for anyone, but there's a book about twins. So, whoa, 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 whoa. Alex, I thought you and Orion were an actual prison thing. What are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Stop. 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 I'm not happy about this. I'm honestly not happy about this. Stop. I like it the way it is. Stop. Sleep, 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 sleep. Okay. Okay. So anyways, yeah, I named the twins after Ellen Hopkins characters, the twins from one of her books. Identical is the name of the book, so their names are Kaylee and Rayanne. But Orion. Oh, that's cute. Pick it up. Anyways, you realize that your boy toy was flirting with another person. You need to go tell him that you need to go take a shower first. Right? Is that you? No, maybe it's the garbage. You need to eat. He's taking a lazy nap. Well, I won't explain everybody's stories. Oh, there's a little teddy bear keychain. Oh, it's a Blarfy. It's a Blarfy keychain. That's kind of cool. Anyways, I'm not gonna explain the whole story to you guys for each of these guys, because it's just, you're gonna be like, oh my god, just shut up already, and then just play The Sims. Let's see some drama. I gotta tell you the drama that happened while you guys weren't here before you can see the drama that's happening. I mean, being in a prison isn't drama enough for you? I mean, look at this badassness. Look at him. By the way, that's a plastic knife. You can't have those. You can't have a real knife in prison. That is definitely one of those, like, watermelon knives. Look, he's even got his own cell. Which, Alex, you're sleeping in... I put him in the wrong bed. I forgot this indicated that this was his cell. This girl in the picture is his cousin. That's, uh-oh. I forgot her name. Oh, no. Oh, Cypress. How did I forget that? That's Cypress. She's a vampire, but she doesn't like being a vampire. She's the only one in the family who's probably gonna, like, slightly disappoint her family for not being part of the vampire clan. It's a whole thing with the vampires too. It's just like, I implement reality and I implement fantasy, and I don't care. Like, a lot of simmers, I guess, I'm not calling anybody out, I'm not, but a lot of simmers are like, I just want to keep my Let's Plays real. I'm like, you have the opportunity to do, like, whatever you want to, so just do it. I mean, I get it. Like, some people don't like vampires. Like, I'm not a huge fan of vampires, but I'm just like, I gotta check this out. Let's do it. Like, some people won't even buy the pack, and I'm like, Why? It's part of the game. Just get it. I almost promise this will be the last time I talk so much about my Sims, because the other families aren't as so like dramatic, but I now I can't even remember what I was talking about before I got cut off. I don't know. What a strange world we live in. And I've been talking to you and what? You're hungry, you just made food. What is that? Nash. Pick it up. 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 Thank you. Oh man. I know I'm doing too much. I know I'm talking too much and I'm not doing enough at the same time. I hope by the next video I'm talking less. I'll still explain the story, but like it's another thing is like right now, like especially in this scenario, what do you do? You're in prison, like what do you do? But replace it. You guys have government money. But like I don't know what else to do right now. I don't know. Right now, I don't know where Lucas's situation is going. That's the biggest thing about it. Like, I made all these... That's the thing. You guys think that I made Lucas's life miserable, which I did. I did make it miserable, but it's also... He's a bunch of ones and zeros. So calm down. Also... also, he, is the most spoiled when it comes to like my builds and stuff. I made him all these friends. Look at all these friends I made him. Look at this building I made him. This building over here, I made that for him too. This is a wellness center. Do you know what a wellness center is? I'm not asking. I'm like asking that like, do you know what a wellness center is? I don't mean to say it like that, but I mean like, do you know what one is? Like if you don't, you know, a wellness center is like what people nowadays would associate as an insane asylum, but we don't want to say it like that because it's not. It's a place for people to get better. And I had made that well before I made the prison, and I've made those characters well before because my story is going to get happier for Lucas. I want him to... There's a girl in there that I made specifically for him that I want him to meet and I want him to marry, but there's probably going to be a time in between. So I do like messing around with their lives a little bit, unless you guys don't want me to do that, but there'll probably be a time where he might end up having a child out of wedlock. You know, I do these things. They have kids so that I have another generation to play with. But, you know, if anybody watches this and anybody, and you guys are like, no babies, then I guess I'll have to appease you, right? So, you know, I do have something for him in the works, though. I have something that will make his life better. I mean, he seems like an okay guy right now. Just he seems himself, like on the outside, he seems okay. He's getting into these fights and he's seeming to enjoy it, and he likes being a badass, and he's crazy. He's like insane, like actually insane is this trait, and so some of the stuff that he associates with reality is also part of his own reality, and it's just he's in his own world. He's a little bit narcissistic and not much bothers him, but I feel like things will change when he meets this girl that I made him and they get to know each other. But I guess for now I've talked way too much in this one. I barely played them again. I showed you the firework thing, but you know, it's just I'm droning on a little bit because it's late and I'm trying to record things back to back to work with. So I guess this is goodbye for now, guys, and if you appreciated this, leave it a like, and I will see you guys the next time.